Hello everyone and welcome back to Priest Brothers Lines. We have a special episode here. Today I am going to be upgrading all of my Southern Pacific Daylight coaches to LEDs. So these coaches were made by MTH sometime in the early 2000s, and of course they all have the incandescent lights that you see right here. This particular one was taken from the baggage car. And you can see there's two lights, one there and one there. And of course, with the incandescent lights, you get the very annoying flickering, which I would get a lot of places over switches, over X pieces, things like that. And so I decided it was finally time to upgrade. And so I have chosen RoyzTrains.com with his upgrade to LEDs. There is his website there. He makes several types, but specifically for MTH Premier coaches, to where all you need to do is unplug the existing connector from the existing lights that you see right there. So unplug that light assembly and then install this light assembly. It comes with double-sided tape there already, so all you need to do is peel that off, stick it to the top of your coach, and then plug this connector in, and you're good to go. It has the capacitor here. It has 9 LEDs on this strip here. And it also has the ability to brighten or make it less light. So there's a little screw right here. Clockwise makes it brighter. Counterclockwise makes it dimmer. And so let's go ahead and get started with these. These coaches are very simple. I'm also going to be adding people, and I'll show you that as well. So all we're going to do here is remove 6 screws to remove the body. So 2 screws there, 1 there, 1 there, and then 2 right there, and that'll remove the shell from the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. If you've never taken apart one of these MTH Premier passenger cars, they're pretty simple. So they have the pickup rollers underneath each truck there, and then goes to wires, and it goes directly to this plate right here that has conducive metal, and you can see it's been soldered to those wires there. And then there's this little plug right here, and it just sits. So these two, positive and negative, it just sits on these conductive metal right here that goes to the solder, that goes to the wire. So it's pretty simple, and it's really nice. That way you don't have like wires hanging from your base down here to your shell. It just sits on that. I suppose that could be a problem if it's not hitting it properly, but in terms of making it really easy to take these apart, it certainly does the job. And as long as you keep the screws on this side particularly really tight, make sure that the shell is sitting in the base well, it should not be a problem at all. So with this is one of the passenger cars. So as you can see, this is where the people are sitting, and so we're going to remove that as well. It looks like it's held in by 4 screws, 2 there and 2 there. So let's go ahead and remove those. So we've taken the seating piece out now with those 4 screws, and as we see here, there's some nice details here. There's a toilet, there's 2 sinks, there's like a trash can maybe, there's a little bench there, and then we have your general passenger area here. If you wanted to, you could paint this, like you could go all out if you really wanted to deck it out to make it look like a specific era. You wanted to paint the seats and paint the carpet and all that. I'm not going to do that because this really doesn't get a lot of look. I will, however, be adding people. In case you're worried about, oh, am I going to put this in the right way? You can't mess it up because this part here is where the electronics go through, and it has to go through this hole. So if you put it in wrong, you'll know it because it won't fit. So it is idiot proof. So that's very nice. So I will be adding some passengers to this. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Here are the passengers I'll be adding. This was a pack of 100. It's done by Evermodel. Several of the things I have been done by Evermodel. A lot of the lights that I have got are from Evermodel. So 100 pieces made in China. And these are relatively cheap. Let's take a look at some of them here. They're not very well detailed. I mean, they're decent. There's no face detail. Everyone has like a little blotch of black hair. If you wanted to, you could paint these better. I actually did that for some of them that I used on my station scene. Kind of in the background, I added a little more details, but they're all seated figures. Fortunately, these people are going to be going inside of the coach, and they really don't need any fine detail, in my opinion. So just adding them enough makes them look good. So let's go ahead and seat a few of them in here and see how that looks. So here we've added 6 figures, and so you can see they sit nicely. I'll add some super glue on their butts and just sit them down in there, and it just adds a little bit. Obviously this looks very light, but again, you're not going to see too many in there, and I think adding any more than one person per side is kind of overkill because you're not really going to see them. It's really just a matter of looking into the cars for a second and seeing people in there. So I have 100 of these little figures. I've used a few of them on the layout. So I'll probably average about maybe 12 people per seat or per car. And of course, if you want to be funny, you can put a guy here on the toilet. Fully clothed, of course. So I'm going to add some of these figures here and glue them down. Alright, so I've added some people to these cars. And again, it'll look really nice looking through the window. Again, it's not full, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be full. And I did put that guy in the toilet there, so that would be funny. Anyway, so now we are going to remove the old lights. So we are going to remove, well, let's just do it right here. So this little thing here just kind of wraps around this post right here. And so that will come undone. Let's see if I can do it on camera here. I'm going to do it off camera. But we're also going to remove the lights down here. So that's 2 screws there, 2 screws there, and 2 screws there. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have removed that light fixture there and then unplugged that connector there. Oh, hello. I was actually unable to get this off. It would come off because it's nothing it's only held on from just pressure, just around this little tube part like that. But there's really no need to remove it completely, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. And the last thing is this little reflective strip to make the lights brighter. Since we're putting LEDs in, that's not really going to be necessary, so we're just going to go ahead and remove that. It's glued in a little bit, but once you get an edge, there we go. Oh gosh. There we go. Yep. There we go. So put that to the side, and you're looking at the screwdrivers. All right, so there we go. And we have our shell completely undone. And you can see here, MTH Electric Trains, POT 15A Body Coach, POT 16A Sleeper Diner. So apparently this shell could be used for either the coaches or the sleepers or the diners. The shell is the exact same thing. So next step is to put in our LED strip. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, so I've connected the connector there. And one thing that they do mention is that you'll want to push the capacitor side closer to the door here, because you don't want to look in the window and see the capacitor. Now, you'll be able to see it from certain angles, but you don't want it to be like right in front of a window, like right here. So just try to push that back a little further, and you should be able to still get plenty of light all around your car. But basically the strategy here is to kind of put this in between the screw holes right there and then right there. So just kind of center that a little bit and then pat them down. So that's what I'm going to do next, is secure it. So let's do it. All right, so we have secured the lights into the shell there, and we're ready to put the people back on. Now, one thing I just realized, because I made this mistake, is that I can't put people where these holes are. You can see there what remains of that woman's yellow dress there. You can't put people there because screws go in there to go into these posts here, and so you have to keep those areas clear. So where is it? There, and then there and there. So you can't put people there. You might be able to stick someone on this far seat here, but I'm just going to avoid it altogether just to avoid any type of problems. So let's see if we can put it all back together. All right, we've got it on the layout. Let's turn the power on. There we go. Very nice. There's the guy in the toilet there. Now, you can see the connector through the window there, but it was like that originally anyway. Like if we were to look into one of the other ones, you would still see it. So that's, again, I'm not too concerned about that. If you were really concerned about it, you could put a little something around that. You could just get like some card or some styrene, just kind of box around it. I'm not going to bother with that because it's going by really quickly. But it looks really nice with the people in there. Well lit. Very nice. Now, this has the capacitor in there, so we are flicker free. So if I go over like a switch here or anything like that, we are getting no flicker. And oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Because these would flicker all the time. That's really nice there. Let's flip that switch. So this one is still incandescent, and I don't really notice a dip, although actually no, I really do. So I don't know how well it comes up on camera, but the light is really well distributed on the LED one. When you compare that to the incandescent here, there's some clear dark spots. Like right here, it's noticeably darker than it is over here. So it really does distribute that light very nicely. And if we do look here, there you can see the plug anyway. It's not as well lit, but you can see the plug there for the old one. So again, if that really bothers you, you can wrap it around with something. You could just put a little corridor around it, something, but I'm not gonna worry about that. So yeah, so that's how we do it. And I'm just gonna do this for the rest of my coaches here. And so it's turning out really nice. Very, very happy with this. Got the people in there, make it look like they're going somewhere. And again, they're detailed enough for the purpose that you're doing here. So very, very nice. I'm very pleased with this. Let's get them all done. I did want to mention one more thing real quick. If you don't know what the capacitor is, the capacitor basically stores electricity. And that's what allows it to give a constant voltage. So if you do lose voltage from your pickups, that capacitor in there has a few seconds worth of energy or electricity still in it. So if you do go over those rough spots or open spots or whatever, it continues to supply the electricity. So I'm going to turn the power off, and you'll note that the lights here stay on for an additional 2 or 3 seconds. So here we go, lights or power off. So it just stays on just for that additional second or two, but that's enough to hold it when it's going over dead spots or dirty spots or whatever it is. So that is the benefit of having the capacitors in there. This is very, very nice. Very, very nice. Each of these kits runs about $19 from Royz. So if you have a train of 10 coaches, you're going to spend about $200 with taxes and shipping and all that. But I think it's worth it upgrading these old cars to have LED lighting, to have flicker free, because now the new cars, like the new the new Atlas and Lionel cars, are mostly, from what I'm seeing, coming out with the LED lights, and it's so nice. So upgrading these is going to take a while, but we'll get it done. I've taken apart one of the diner cars, and one thing I noticed about it is that it appears kind of off scale. These seats seem very small, and as you can see, there's no room underneath the tables for legs, which means that these characters have to undergo some surgery here. So I had to cut basically the legs and all that off of this person here, and I have her hand there, so I can put her kind of like maybe like so, but not passed out on the table like that. I also did this guy here, kind of took his legs off. And once you get some glue in there, that should work out. Like so, something like that. Once she has glue, she'll be fine. But I'm going to have to go through these figures and figure out which ones are the best to cut their legs off. Sounds funny. There's a kind of a booth here. So I'll fill them. I probably won't fill this in as much as the regular passenger cars, because there's a lot of fitting that goes into it. But I'll still add some people to the diner car here. Here you can see that diner car that I just did. Again, I had to cut the legs off the people, and unless you look really closely, you won't notice. So, just added a few people in there, because I did have to modify everyone's legs and had to kind of file them down. But it worked out nicely. Got some people in the dining car there. Since I put fewer people in the dining car here, I'll probably start putting more people in the passenger cars. Alright, the work continues. And so now I have all these leg pieces just sitting around. Maybe I should start a cannibal scene. Alright, so we are now working on the observation car. Here you can see I got the people here. Glued some of them into their seats. Got them going around the observation part there. Now this is a little different. On this side it's the same. You got your standard plug over there. But they do sell a particular light set for an observation car. And so what I've done here is on the inside, in order to light these little marker lights here, there's these plastic inserts on this particular model. So what I did is drilled a hole into the plastic there and then just stuck the LED right there into it. And the same thing over here. Just drilled a hole into that plastic insert and stuck the LED in there. So I'm hoping that will light up that light there. And then for the final piece here, there's the end light cap there. That was a thicker piece of plastic, so I just drilled directly into it, going parallel with the tube there, and then stuck the third light in there, and then used some electrical tape just to keep it down there, also to kind of cover the light so that the red light doesn't shine down. I might have to do the same thing here. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But it's all done here, so I'm ready to put it all together and get it back on the layout. So we'll see how it all turns out. Alright, and here we have it. Observation car. All nicely lit. Got the interior people there. And then we have these lit marker lights here. The rear one also. And the side one. Where is it? There it is. I'll turn the lights out so we can see all of it in all of its glory. But that seemed to work out. You can see, I mean, it doesn't look great right there. But unless you go all the way down, you don't really see the lights up there. But that's okay. That doesn't bother me. I try to keep it easy here. So let's get this train all together and see how it looks. switches, all lit with the LEDs, with the capacitors, looking very nice, holding steady, holding strong. Again, those LEDs are made by Royz trains. I'll put a link in the description down there, but definitely worth it. And for the price of about $19 each, it was a little extra for the observation car with a few extra lights, but definitely worth it. I love seeing this train going around and not having all the lights flickering all over the place. That was really annoying. So I hope you guys enjoyed this installation video. This is super easy. This product is so easy. It's just a plug and play thing. If you can turn screws and if you can plug in plugs, you can do this. So I highly recommend them to upgrade any of your older cars to get some LED action, which it's going to pull a lot less amps, which is huge. So just the amount of amps that we don't have to worry about pulling anymore. The constant on, the LEDs, a lot less electricity. So worth it. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this how-to / come along with me and let's see how it works video. Again, this is Preach Brothers Lines. Thank you for watching. Signing off.